Hi guys, welcome back to episode 8 of the Cybervice podcast. In today's video, we're doing something very different. We're doing a more of a Q&A style. So rather than talking about fixed topics, we've asked you guys to ask us questions about certain topics and we're gonna work through the list.
Yes, can't wait to get into them.
Throughout this video, you may hear my voice go in and out, guys. I'm just losing my voice a little bit, so if you hear me go a bit squeaky, I'm not crying, I'm fine. Do you want to start off with the first question?
Sure thing. So first question comes from Captain Hellfire, and he goes, how did you both meet and what's the backstory to the Cybervice podcast? Do you want to kick this off, or you want me to kick this off?
Yeah, I'll kick it off. So I think I dropped you a message earlier this year because I saw some of your videos coming up in my feed, and obviously there's a lot of GTA content out there, and most GTA content is just waffle. But watching your videos, like, you're articulate, like, you know what you want to say, you put your points together really nicely, and I thought, you know what, it'd be dope to work with this guy. And then in terms of the name, it's because we didn't have a name, and we're like, we'll just take half of each of our YouTube channels and smash it together.
It ends up going pretty well. Cyber and Vice City, so worked pretty well. But yeah, no, it was really cool you reaching out to me on I think it was Instagram DM or something. It slid into my DMs.
I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna try and riz you up in your DMs. And
yeah, he reached out to me just saying, I think we should, come up with sort of like a podcast style thing. I think we'll be really good working together. And yeah, we just kicked it off, and that was pretty much it from there. And then we just started, exchanging messages here and there, thinking about exactly what we want to try and do with the podcast. And
well, we're still trying to figure that out.
like literally, but yeah, it was really good hearing from someone else in the GTA community, and just having someone like Cyberboy right now, and doing these podcast things together, and hearing from you guys as well in the community is something so special that it's incredible. I love doing these things with you, man, and it was really cool hearing you reach out to me and then going from there. So yeah, can't wait to see what the future holds for the Cybervice.
What a cutie brand. What a cutie. First question in and I'm already sweating.
Yeah, I just can't wait to see what the future holds for just Cybervice as a whole. And, once the game comes out, obviously it'll be, just so we got so many ideas for you guys as well. So,
the thing is like, I think a few days before we film these episodes, we have a little chat about what we're going to discuss and try and go through ideas. And we've had so many ideas, but the rate of news that we've been getting from Rockstar has been slower than the amount of ideas we've had. So in the future, we're going to be branching out into interviewing other GTA related creators and other Rockstar creators. Like, when the game comes out, we'll probably end up still doing the podcast, but it probably won't just be GTA news. It'll probably be more like Rockstar creators, and then we'll still be making videos together, playing GTA Online and other stupid content. It's just, for the time being, there's nothing that we can really collab on other than this sort of podcast style video. So it's perfect. Yeah,
exactly right. Like, the podcast is going to evolve over time. It's not going to stay how it is now, like with us just talking with the trailer going on in the background on the videos you guys see each episode.
Exactly.
It's going to change. There's going to be more things for us to do together. In terms of when the game obviously does come out, there's going to be so many more things for us to do. Obviously, when the online component is launched, then yes, so many more things. So yeah, can't wait for that. So that should be good. But yeah.
Yeah, and this brings us on to, well, it's not linked at all, but here's the second question. What kind of scale are you hoping for when it comes to the crime aspect of the story? By that, I mean, do you want a more Fast and Furious type of story with constant large set pieces like GTA 5, or a more realistic take on crime where there's a large emphasis on smaller types of robberies, convenience stores, small banks, etc.? I'll let you take the lead on this one.
Yeah, I think in terms of the overall story of just GTA 6 and what we want to hope to see with it, obviously everyone has a different opinion on what they want to see with the story. GTA 5, like this guy has said here, Marius, that GTA 5 involved a lot of large set pieces. It was one. Well, I know one of the movies that was inspired by by GTA 5 anyways, was the movie Heat, if I'm not mistaken, in one of the particular missions.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, in GTA 6 in particular, I think for me anyways, considering we have a Bonnie and Clyde like Dura, that's the inspiration that Rockstar Games has taken for this story in particular. I think from what we have seen in the leaks anyways, it seems to suggest that it's going to be like that. We're going to be seeing those smaller types of robberies, like we saw with the Uncle Jack's liquor store in the trailer, the Hank's Waffles Diner in the leaked gameplay, and it seems to be the case that it looks like they're going to be on the run, going from place to place. So I don't think we are going to be seeing like big like heists like we did see in GTA 5. It'll be sort of, I would say, a little bit more different. And from my perspective anyways, I think something completely different from GTA 5 is better anyways. I don't want Rockstar to do the exact same thing. They don't necessarily do the exact same thing with each GTA iteration anyway, so I think if something is a little bit more unique relating to the relationship between Lucy and Jason will be quite interesting from that perspective, I guess, if that makes sense, if I'm making sense at all. But yeah, what about you?
Yeah, no, I'm 100% with you on that. I think that, for example, I mean, the comparison to Fast and Furious is something that we've both spoken about as well, where Fast and Furious has become this big working for the government, bank heists, extreme bank jobs. Whilst that's cool and fun, GTA 5's done that, and what we've seen from Red Dead Redemption 2 is a lot of Red Dead Redemption 2 story is hung on the characters themselves, so the way Arthur interacts, trusts / doesn't trust other people around him, and the relationships he has with other people. If you remove all of those dynamics in Red Dead Redemption 2, you've got a rubbish game. And I feel like with GTA 6, especially being a Bonnie and Clyde inspired love story, the actual weight and the scale of the story is probably going to be primarily focused around Jason and Lucia. And I feel like whether we're robbing a corner shop or stealing $100 million out of a bank, I feel like the dynamic between the both of them is actually going to have more part of the story than like the setup for the mission. I feel like, yes, there'll probably be mission setups. There're probably going to be things like messing the CCTV, and smaller bank jobs are going to need more work to pull off. But I feel like the more emphasis in that story is going to be put on the more realistic stuff, the boots on the ground. Here's a dynamic duo. Here's them attempting to rob a bank, etc, etc, etc. So I feel like that's where the emphasis is going to be, not on which government agency they decide to work with. Yeah,
exactly right. The dynamic between Lucy and Jason is probably going to be much more of have much more of an emphasis than it is necessarily on the robbing or the robberies or whatever. So and I guess the friction between them as well, like if one wants to go a certain way and the other wants to go another way, that will have an interesting effect on how what the repercussions are, what the future repercussions are based off what happens in the story. So yeah, and
I think there's one more thing there that I want to touch on as well, whereas GTA 5, like you can drive 120 miles per hour to a mission and do a mission and then drive out of a certain area and escape the cops, where I feel like in GTA 6 with clearly a larger emphasis on immersion, they're probably going to make it a bit more difficult to do these simpler things. So for example, the police AI is going to be better, maybe the traffic AI is going to be a bit more complex. So smaller types of crimes and robberies like convenience stores, small banks, etc., will probably be a lot more engaging missions than the biggest heists in GTA 5, because they're going to be more complex. There's going to be more moving parts, more realistic things to think about, whether you steal the money and then you have to launder the money somehow, which is something that we saw in the leaks, like a money laundering location. So I feel like adding more complexities to more realistic robberies is going to be far more interesting than robbing the national reserves.
Yeah, exactly right. The next one comes from Impact Wrestling Federation. Hi, I'm Josh. I was wondering would we be able to play both sides? Can we possibly be a police officer in the game and get to pull people over, write tickets, and do all that kind of stuff, like LSPDFR? And do you also think that Rockstar knows how popular LSPDFR is with GTA 5? And do you think they thought about it, or maybe are considering it if it is possible? You want to take the lead on this one?
Yeah, to be honest, I think when it comes to story mode, no. When it comes to online, potentially. I think the role-playing community is obviously a massive part of what makes GTA Online great for a large segment of the audience. I think that I'm not sure whether we'll get a GTA 6 roleplay separate thing, but the reality is a lot of people will create their own servers. But looking at the fact that Rockstar bought CFX.RE, the people behind Red M and 5M servers, I'm assuming that a lot of the features that we currently see in GTA, like the GTA RP stuff, will probably make it into the standard GTA gameplay, stuff like interacting with other people, like emotes and stuff like that. I reckon a lot of that stuff will probably make it into the standard GT Online modes. When it comes to more extended roleplay, like playing as a police officer and vice versa, I think that's realistically probably going to be just left for role-playing communities.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we know that Rockstar acquired CFX.RE. What they're going to do with, most likely it's going to be called 6M or whatever it's going to be called, in terms of role playing as a police officer or something like that. I know that, was it in 5M they're already doing that, right? The 5M already, I'm pretty sure, has that.
I'm not really massively clued up on 5M. I know that like there's LSPD FR and there's also No Pixel, and in No Pixel a lot of people have done like police mods and stuff like that, but once again, No Pixel isn't Rockstar approved, so I don't know. I'm not that clued up on the role-playing community.
Yeah, me too. But I think with GTA 6 anyways, Rockstar's just probably going to put their own spin on it. They're the ones that acquired the company that have those servers. So there's probably going to be a few things from a corporate standpoint, seeing that they now own them, in terms of how they want to go about it. Like things like writing tickets and that, if that is something that's going to be a part of it in terms of the role-playing component of 6 Online in terms of that. What we think that is, we don't know. I'm sure Rockstar has a plan for that in particular. But I'm not particularly, like I said, I'm not too clued up on it in terms of the whole role-playing component. It would be awesome. I think it'd be pretty cool, but we just don't know how it's going to shape up in GTA 6 Online. It's too early to say, or to try and see exactly what it could be like, if that makes sense. But yeah,
no, 100%. And this goes into the next question: do you think any previous GTA characters will have a role in the story?
I think that there was actually, I don't know if you saw this, but there was a Twitter account, I think his name's Jericho, on Twitter X, whatever. That came out and said that Luis Lopez from Ballad of Gay Tony, like, obviously this is just a theory, it's nothing that's, was a leak or didn't come from a reputable source or anything like that. Nothing from Rockstar. But he came up with this theory that Louise may be related to Lucia. Louise Lopez, character from Ballad of Gay Tony, may be related to Lucia because of the whole Hispanic descent.
Yeah, there's the first murmurings of this. So when the first lot of speculation about Maniel Perez came out, I went to her Instagram, and this was like literally the second the news broke that it could be her. And back then she was following I think 750 people or more. It was a lot of people, maybe over 1,000. And obviously a lot of people she followed were people at Rockstar, senior developers at Rockstar, and also the guy that played Luis Lopez. There was a few rumors floating around that they were cousins. I couldn't find anything to verify that, but it looks like there's a lot of synergies. Like a lot of people that end up working at Rockstar usually know someone who knows someone who knows someone. Like there is a lot of links. And also the guy that played Luis Lopez, he has worked in other TV shows that are in the same industries as Maniel Perez, and it's quite like an incestuous industry where a lot of people do know each other. So I wouldn't look into it too deep. However, Luis Lopez was a loved character, so maybe there's a potential for him to have some involvement. And also he does meet the vibe and the criteria for Vice City. Even the colour aesthetic for the Ballad of Gay Tony DLC, in terms of the neon lights and all of that, does match the aesthetic for Vice City. So as a character, he would make sense.
Yeah, it definitely would. I mean, we saw the return of Gay Tony in GTA Online with the nightclub DLC, the After Hours nightclub DLC. So it's possible. Like there could be any other previous GTA character that may have a role in the story. We just don't know, of course. But that's one theory that that could occur, considering the fact that Lucia and Louisa come from that descent, that background. So yeah, we just have to wait and see. But in terms of other previous GTA characters, I don't think we'll see any GTA 5 character have like a significant role, like a Michael, Trevor, Franklin. Perhaps maybe like a cameo or something like that. I think we might have went over this on another podcast episode. I'm not quite sure. You might have said it, or I might have said it, that maybe Michael might be. This is one theory that a lot of people have said, that maybe Michael might be on like a radio talk station talking about his new movie or something like that. We know he co-produced with Solomon Richards in the story mode of GTA 5, the movie Meltdown. So maybe he could be promoting his next movie or something on the radio station or whatever. Who knows? But that's just one theory that some people have come up with.
I think we're going to be treading the line between Easter eggs and cameos. Like, I don't think we're going to be. Rockstar aren't just going to forget. Like, I mean, a lot of Grand Theft Auto games have references to other games. So, like, GTA 4 had references to Vice City. They all kind of take place, although in different timelines and somewhat different universes. They all reference similar cities, locations, some characters, and I feel like with this story potentially being massive in terms of the map and potentially even the story length, we don't know, but there's definitely a lot of places there where the characters from previous games could be referenced, and we could be seeing Easter eggs. I would like to see some references to maybe some characters from Vice City, maybe some references to some of the characters that played a part of that story there. I mean, a lot of that would get lost on the current audience, whereas a lot of the current audience for the game are younger, and they probably didn't play Vice City growing up. But I feel like it would be great to definitely have some homages, especially something in memory of Ray Liotta.
Yeah, definitely.
So we'll have to see how that all plays out.
Yeah, that's right. I'd love to see a reference to Ray Liotta. That would be cool. So the next question comes from Mike the Nerd. He goes, do you guys think Niko Bellic will be referenced in some way, like a character from GTA 4, mentioning him just like how Paki McCreary mentioned him in GTA 5? You want to take the lead on this one?
Yeah, I think this kind of ties on nicely from the last question a little bit. It's really difficult to say, because in GTA 5, Niko Bellic wasn't referenced by name. He was referenced as a crew working down in Liberty City, and I'm not sure whether that's because of Rockstar having issues with Michael Hollick, the voice actor for him, and maybe they didn't want to draw attention to him or something like that. I'm not sure. Maybe that's me just over reading into it, but I feel like GTA 4 is probably that one game in the series that's just tragically underrated, and I'd like to see in GTA 6 maybe more references to not just GTA 5 but GTA 4 and some of the games that came before. I do think Niko Bellic needs a lot more love. It took me years to figure out that he wasn't actually like of Slavic descent. Like, it's all an accent and everything that he put on for the videos, which is nuts. Yeah. So like, I feel like some characters like him are massively unrepresented in the GTA universe for sure.
Yeah, Michael Hollick, I'm pretty sure is he American or Canadian? I forget exactly. I think he's American anyways. But yeah, he's the one that put the voice actor of Niko. He put the accent on, but I did a superb job.
Well, he wasn't even supposed to be Niko Bellic, so I'm not sure if you know the story of how he got the job.
No, I'm not. I just know that he is the voice actor of Niko, but I'm not too clued up on sort of the backstory.
Basically, I'm not sure if our audience will find this interesting or not, but I found it interesting, so I'm going to talk about it. Basically, when he applied for the job at Rockstar, he was originally hired as a motion capture artist for NPCs. Then they decided he was quite good at doing mocap stuff, so they wanted to cast him for the main role just as the body double. And then during the mocap filming, he put on the accent to try and get into character. And then everyone in the mocap studio just looked at him and said, "Oh my god, you'd be perfect." And that's how we got the role as Niko Bellic. Yeah, so it was actually during pre-production when they were writing the story, and they were still trying to find someone to be Niko, and he just fit the role perfectly.
Damn, that's actually pretty cool. That must have been like a cool experience for him to have that. Yeah, to him to get the role in that, especially at that point in time, that would have been awesome.
100%. 100%. So this is a question from Jam and Cracks. It's been 6 years since Red Dead Redemption 2. Within 6 years before GTA 5 came out, Rockstar released Manhunt 2, GTA 4, Midnight Club LA, GTA Chinatown Wars, Beta Rater, Red Dead Redemption, LA Noire, Max Payne 3. Do you think the success of GTA Online has contributed to the lack of development from Rockstar Games? And do you subscribe to the notion that fans of Rockstar Games shouldn't support the online component of their video games to encourage new releases? Firstly, very good points raised there. Obviously, Rockstar had a hectic release schedule. However, the amount of people it took to make GTA 4 and GTA 5 is probably less than 10 to 15% of Rockstar's current workforce. And also, GTA 4 and GTA 5 were drastically smaller games in the grand scheme of things. I mean, for the time, they were obviously very advanced, but when you're looking at the other games that are being created, they were handled by other studios. So, for example, we got LA Noire, which was handled by Team Bondi in Australia. Then you had Max Payne 3, which is handled by Remedy. So Remedy worked on Max Payne 3. Midnight Club LA was all being handled by Rockstar San Diego, or formerly known as Angel Studios. Manhunt 2, once again, wasn't a game that was being worked on by Rockstar directly themselves. They had some of their development teams working on it, but most of it was actually being done by third-party companies. So when we actually break it down, Rockstar themselves and the core focuses was the GTA and Red Dead universe. When we're talking about GTA 6, or firstly GTA Online, during GTA Online's success, which by the way was purely an accident and was never planned, hence why we were originally going to be getting story mode DLC, which we never got, Rockstar had to obviously build a whole online system. The online that we see today is not the same thing as what we had back in 2014, 2015. It's been expanded beyond belief, and it does require a lot of people to work on it. Of course, with Rockstar striking while the iron's hot, for the first couple of years they were wanting to capitalize and make money out of it, which is understandable because it's an expensive business to run, and at the end of the day, without GTA Online, they would not have the money to make GTA 6 and spend nearly, well, between $1 to $2 billion, whatever that figure might end up being, on GTA 6. So I think there is no reason to boycott GTA Online. I don't see any issue with GTA Online being as successful as it is. But fundamentally, GTA Online has enabled what will become GTA 6. And also, Rockstar went from, in the past 15 years, they've gone from a team of 500 people to a team of 6,000. And that will probably give you a good idea of the scale of what to expect for GTA 6. Now, if GTA 6 comes out and it's absolutely crap, then everything I just said, pretend I didn't say, and we move on.
It was never planned that GTA Online was going to be the success that it was, exactly like you said. No one ever thought, not even Rockstar themselves, that it was going to be how it is now. I mean, they literally planned story mode DLC to come out in 2014, and that didn't end up happening because of the success of GTA Online. I like to think of it like this, like, yeah, it's been a really, really long wait for GTA 6 to come out, but it will be so worth it when it does come out because, like you said, it's pretty much funded GTA 6 essentially. And I think what we're going to be seeing in GTA 6 obviously is going to, well, it's already blown us away from the trailer, but obviously when the game comes out, I'm sure it will, even more so. But I don't think it's necessarily, we shouldn't necessarily boycott Rockstar Games because of them not coming out with more releases on a regular basis. Like, yes, the technology that they're implementing within GTA 6 is far greater than their previous titles, even Red Dead 2. I mean, by the time GTA 6 comes out next year, Red Dead 2 will be like 7 years old, which is absolutely mind-boggling to me. I'm sure it's the same for you. And yeah, I think in particular anyways, that the more larger games get, the longer the development times will most likely be. I mean, it's as much as that sucks, that's my takeaway anyways from that in particular. But I don't think yes, GTA Online has perhaps from Rockstar's standpoint, maybe you could argue that they may have milked it for a little bit longer than they should have. There's been like countless DLCs that have come out, but then that's just given them more time to fine tune GTA 6 and having, well, hopefully an incredible experience once the game comes out. Yeah, I know that's just my takeaway from it anyways. And plus, anyways, with what you said also, that there was different studios working on all those other games, like Manhunt 2, LA Noire, and Midnight Club LA, Red Dead, of course, was Rockstar San Diego. So, and there's way more employees now than there was years ago. So
yeah. I think another thing there to remember is, let's say hypothetically, GTA 5 came out in 2013. The actual scope of GTA Online was only really discovered in 2015, end of 2015. That's when they were like, okay, this is actually the biggest thing possible. Then, so in terms of time to focus on GTA 6, they would have had 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019. So that would cover all of the writing, recruiting, hiring of voice actors, whatever it might be. In 2018, they actually had a massive issue with, obviously coming off the back of Red Dead Redemption 2, the working conditions at Rockstar were badly reported on, all of this. So they ended up having to restructure the whole entire inside of their business. Okay, we take a year off there. So now we're back down to 2 years. And then we go back up to 2019. So we're now back up to 3 years. And then in 2020, the world ended. So we had obviously the pandemic in 2020, 2021, that caused people working from home. And then that leaves us with a fresh start again in 2022, 2023, and 2024. So we're now up to actual 6 years of development with a load of hassle in the middle. Although it's been 11 years, well, nearly coming up to 11 years since GTA 5 came out, it's actually GTA 6 has only really been 6 years of development. And by the time it comes out, it would have actually been 7 years of development. And I know from friends that work in the games industry, when the pandemic happened, there was a good 3 months where people just didn't do anything because they had no idea if it was worth doing anything. Because their employers were just like, hang on, we need to figure out whether we need to hire people, fire people, whether to furlough people, whether all of this had to be figured out. And then on top of that, to add insult to injury, the games industry then ended up selling loads of consoles, but there wasn't enough actual supply of consoles. So the games industry has been throttled by console sales. And then, so everything, pardon my French, but everything went to shit for a good 2.5 years. So that combined with all the issues that Rockstar's had following the release of Red Dead Redemption 2, and of course Red Dead Redemption 2 in itself was an absolutely humongous game. I don't think Rockstar not releasing releasing a Grand Theft Auto game in 10, 11 years, 12 years is a really major deal. I mean, we got Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah, no, exactly right. The pandemic has had a major impact. Obviously, that has contributed to GTA 6's development in terms of internal delays. I mean, I would say that GTA 6 has been delayed numerous times. Publicly, we just don't know that, but internally, I reckon it's been delayed definitely more than one time, for sure. Yeah, If you take out the pandemic, maybe we would already have had GTA 6 in our hands. It's hard to say really, but it could have been the case that we would have had it much more earlier than now, than next year. So yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%. And also as well, if anyone comments on this saying that we're defending Rockstar, we have both been very, very critical of Rockstar for numerous things. If Rockstar could be criticised, maybe they could have been a little bit faster with some things, but if there was something to really criticise them for, we would.
Yeah, exactly right.
Saying that, if we did, we would both lose our jobs at Rockstar.
No. Yeah, behind the scenes, guys, we are Rockstar devs. We're just putting it out there.
Yeah, my favourite part of the job is using the computer mobobs to make to make the thing do the thing in the game. It's my favourite part of the job. I loved it when they cast me for Lucia. Apparently I'm beautiful. Right, so the next question we've had is from Joseph, and it's, apart from GTA 6, what games are you looking forward for? I'm going to hand this over to you. What games are you particularly got your eyes open for at the moment? And I think I know one of the answers.
Oh, do you? One of them, well, there's a few actually in particular. Coming up, look, Call of Duty has obviously been one that's the franchise itself. Yeah. I've got other ones as well, but firstly, just me and Sideboy spoke about this one the other day. Black Ops 6 seems like it's a pretty interesting one in terms of the story mode anyways. I don't know how about the multiplayer's been. I haven't played Call of Duty multiplayer in ages. I don't play Warzone or whatever. But in terms of the story mode campaigns, I always like Treyarch's stories. So Black Ops 6 is shaping up to be pretty cool. It's in, if you guys are not following along with the whole Black Ops 6 at the moment, it's essentially in regards to the Gulf War. The Gulf War happened in the early 90s, if I'm not mistaken. And and pretty much apparently it seems to be the antagonist is Saddam Hussein, and there are like it's based off like, well, and from what we can understand anyways, there's non-fiction characters, so real life people being implemented into the game, similar to how it was in Black Ops 1 where you had John F. Kennedy in the game. But then there's also fictional characters that occur within the story as well. If you guys are not mistaken, or if you guys are unaware or aware of it, if you guys played Black Ops in the past, Frank Woods and Alex Mason, seems like they're going to be returning. From Frank Woods more specifically anyways, but I think I'm just pretty hyped for that in general anyways, because that is a time of a period in history that's particularly interesting to me, and I think that's something that could be some like, I'm not too clued up on Call of Duty at the moment. I haven't followed along with the campaigns as of recent, especially with like the most recent entry, Modern Warfare 3, but I think the whole Black Ops franchise and what they're doing with the whole marketing behind that, it's particularly interesting, but it just depends on how good the game will be once the story mode comes out. So that's what I'm always interested with each Call of Duty iteration. But yeah, what about you?
Mate, I'm the exact same. I feel like for the past at least 5 years or 6 years or even 7 years of Call of Duty games, I couldn't care less. But like, with this now going back to ever since Jetro said boots on the ground in one of our previous podcasts, I just can't stop saying it because it's exactly right. But like, a boots on the ground Call of Duty where it's based on realistic events, it's following true to form, there isn't any stupid futuristic sci-fi weapons and stuff. Like, I don't want to play Star Wars, I want to play Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Like if I wanted a futuristic and really dystopian war game, I'd play Halo. Like, it's what it's for. I love like the history behind war, and I feel like Treyarch have been really good at tackling the moral standpoints in some of their Call of Duty games. So like, they look at some of their gameplay objectively and they actually try and paint a story without picking a side. It's quite interesting how they convey their Call of Duty games. I love when Treyarch gets involved and makes a game, but then I think at the same time, obviously Activision have an eye for things, and I'm just really interested to see how Gulf War, Black Ops 6, whatever the final release name is, I'm not sure if that's actually come out yet. That's the one game where I feel like I'm going to be interested in Call of Duty again, and I'm looking forward to falling back in love with that game. Because so from here on out, we ended up talking about Call of Duty for half an hour. We've decided to cut that from this video, and we're going to upload that as a separate video, because we know that a lot of you won't be interested in hearing about the new Call of Duty, so that'll be its own separate entire video. What things are we expecting for the pre-orders? Physical merchandise like GTA 5, guidebook, etc., or just simple pre-order, potentially with in-game bonuses?
Like, I think with GTA 6 anyways, like in terms of the pre-orders, I think it's going to be similar to how it was with GTA 5 and RDR2. They both had physical editions in terms of like, well, I would say like more like different editions as well. I know Red Dead Redemption 2 had the collector's edition with that box and like some playing cards and like a in-game, well, there was like a book as well that came with it, and like a few goodies, which is similar to what they did with GTA 5 anyways. I think you had like the snapback hat. I think you had maybe a key ring, if I'm not mistaken. Hopeful, I would say with GTA 6, I'm sure they're going to do something similar along those lines. What that is, we don't know, of course, but I'm sure that they're going to have something that is going to capture the Vice City vibe or whatever. What I would like to see is, but it's definitely not going to happen, is like sort of like a Vice City sort of neon sign, but that would be too expensive. But that would be pretty neat, or like something like that would be cool. But I think, expect probably what it's going to be with, like how it was with RDR2 and GTA 5. We get all those little goodies here and there. In terms of that, in terms of like in-game bonuses or something, that's probably a possibility as well. Like I know I think it was the GTA 5 special edition. Like you could get like it was like an add-on. I think you could get like the blimp, I think, with that edition. There was a few other things here and there. We could get like a few like clothing items or whatever. I do remember that. But yeah, I would say expect the same for GTA 6. Rockstar are going to want to make sure that they make the most money out of this game, and obviously they're going to have the standard edition, whatever that costs, we don't know. And then they're most likely going to have like a special edition and a collector's edition or whatever that's going to be called. So
all the collector's editions and like pre-order editions, they're not the same in every country. The US, UK, and Australia and Canada all have the same pre-order sets, like for most of Rockstar's previous games. However, some other countries around the world have different ones. So I'm going to try and predict what we're going to see in terms of like levels. So I think there'll be the standard game, but I don't think the standard game will be pre-order. I think everyone that pre-orders might get like an additional vehicle, like with GTA 5 they did the blimp that you could call in the phone. They later made that standard, but back in the day it wasn't standard. That was a special edition pack. I think probably there's going to be a clothing level, like caps, like you mentioned before, like caps or clothing or something, or a t-shirt or a hoodie. I then think there will be like a one with different packaging that maybe has some like specialist thing in it. I hope that the base level of the game, whether digital or otherwise, will allow us to have a map, because I've got all of my previous GTA maps that came in like my PS2 case, my PS3 case. I've still got all of my original PlayStation maps that came with Grand Theft Auto games previously that I'm going to put up in the wall in the house very soon. But I'm hoping we actually get the physical map, because that would be really cool. So I'm hoping, touch wood, that we're going to have many different options for pre-orders. The only thing that I am a bit confused by is, and I was talking to one of my friends about this the other day, he owns a logistics company. He's done distribution before for another game franchise that sells 1,000th of the volume that GTA will sell, and the actual distribution of everything is going to be borderline impossible with the amount of people that are going to be buying GTA 6. So I'm very interested to see what the lead times would be on pre-order merch. So if like you ordered a special edition with a hoodie and a t-shirt, how long would you have to wait to get that? Because it's like to put it into perspective, Grand Theft Auto on average, compared to most other AAA games, it performs around 5 to 8 times better, and that's GTA 5. So imagine what GTA 6 is going to do. We're dealing with a lot of numbers. There's a lot of numbers and a lot of zeros.
I was just about to say a lot of zeros. Yeah, I think if we're most likely just gonna be seeing those different editions or whatever. Like I think for me, this is, well, I mean, it's sort of a part of the question to some degree anyways, not necessarily, but like I think like in terms of like what edition are you going to pick up? Are you going to pick up like the collector's edition or something, or?
Well, I feel like if I didn't get the highest edition, I would get bullied in my comments.
Yeah, I'm the same. Yeah, same for me.
Like, I'm just worried that the highest edition is going to cost as much as a PlayStation.
Jeez. Jeez, yeah.
Because if Rockstar can charge a certain amount, they will. We've learned that. So.
It's definitely possible, but I don't think it will cost as much as a console. But you never know. One thing I am a little bit. Well, I don't know. With the Red Dead Redemption 2 Collector's Edition, from what I can understand, I don't know if the disc actually came with that. Do you know if the disc came with that? I'm not sure. I did see a video the other day that didn't come with it, or did it come with it? It came with it. Okay.
Yeah,
because
so I've got the Collector's
Yeah.
Edition on PS4, which is
Okay.
2 discs. So one of them's the install disc, one of them's a playable disc. It's in a
that's
metal
good.
case.
That's good.
And it came with some playing cards as well.
Yeah, nice. The reason why I'm saying that is because the Starfield, I think Collector's Edition literally did not even have the physical copy in that Collector's Edition, which is absolutely absurd to me. They had like a digital code. It was a digital code that Bethesda put in or some bullshit, which is ridiculous. I mean, I don't think Rockstar are going to do us that dirty, but if you're paying for the highest edition, you should have the physical copy within that edition, not a bunch of goodies and you don't even get the physical copy. That's just ridiculous to me. But yeah, anyway, that's something that I saw.
There is two things to consider there, though. The size of the game, because discs can only hold so much data. That's why, like, even Red Dead 2 had 2 discs. One of them was an 80 gigabyte or like 60 gigabyte install disc, and the other one was a playable disc, had the rest of the data on it. I'm hoping that we don't get a digital download key, mainly because imagine you get your pre-order delivered on the day of release, and you're really excited to play. You open up that case, that beautiful GTA 6 case with that nice VI logo on the front, and you get a download code, and then you go to PlayStation Network or Xbox, and you try and download your game at the same time as 3 or 4 million other people. There is no server in the world that can handle that.
Yeah.
So you're going to be
Exactly
waiting
right.
4 or 5 days in a queue to download your game. Because it's not like, if it was like Call of Duty, like you'd be waiting 15-20 minutes in a queue to be added to that download list. With something as big as GTA 6, a digital download means that you're not going to be able to play the game for a few days. Especially if the digital download is like 100 gig plus 200 gig, potentially even more. Like I'm very fortunate, touch wood, that I've got insanely fast internet. But for example, I know like in Australia, your internet for the most part is 1, expensive, and 2, not as strong as places like the US and the UK. I found that out from Dark Viper, that your internet speeds in Australia aren't the best. I mean, saying that you live in obviously a major city, so you're okay, but yeah.
Yeah, like the thing is, compared to like the rest of the world, like Australia doesn't, from what I can understand anyways, like network speed, like I'm not too clued up on network speed anyways, but I mean, it's like where I am, it's okay. But compared to maybe like the rest of the world, that they've probably got faster connections in maybe, like probably where you are in the UK or in America or whatever.
Well,
but
where I am now, I get 1 gigabit per second. So that's actually it's 997 megabits per second download, and then 800 megabits per second upload. So basically I can upload like a 10-minute 4K YouTube video in a minute.
Yeah, that's really good actually.
It's really insane. So I just don't see a world where a digital download for GTA 6 on a global scale makes any sense at all.
Completely agree.
But that being said, there are no disc editions of the PlayStation 5, so some people will have to do a digital download.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I just don't want to be one of those people because I'm not waiting.
Nah. Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right.
It's autumn 2025. Usual autumn weather, rain, cold. Are you waiting outside for a midnight launch in a tent, or staying in bed and picking it up later the same day? I don't think they're going to do a midnight launch for GTA 6.
That's so sad, Dave. But the way everything is nowadays with the whole digital landscape, it's very unlikely, isn't it?
Yeah, I think if it's a midnight launch, it'd be a digital midnight launch, and then you can collect it in store when the store's open. It's not like, I think GTA 5 was the last. Most stores didn't do a midnight camp out, but like GTA 4, everyone got that in a midnight camp out. I remember queuing with, I believe it was my dad. Yeah, it was my dad for GTA 4 at midnight, and he had to buy it for me. But yeah, I think those days are gone, and it sucks because there is a certain like romanticism to it. Everyone around the world is doing the same thing at the same time for the same reason, and that like unites the whole community. I'm hoping it comes back for GTA 6, like a midnight launch would be dope.
Yeah, that would be pretty sick. Like it's so, yeah, the way the whole, the digital landscape, just everything in society at the moment, and the way, we consume content, everything's pretty much like pretty much everything's like digitally. Like no one's there's no really midnight launches for any. I mean, for GTA 6, we maybe there is, but because it's so huge.
Yeah, if there's any game that's going to have it, it would be GTA 6, but I don't know.
Yeah,
but also as well, I'm thinking like if we after the next few trailers and all of this, if both of our channels get bigger, like I was thinking about this the other day, like this month's been pretty slow, but on average between 800k to 1.2 million people see my name and hear my voice every month. And do I really want to be in a queue somewhere where some people in that queue might recognize my voice? Obviously I hide my face, but like if I'm outside a retail store that's got 1,000 people waiting to pick up a game, like is there a chance of me potentially getting recognized if someone talks to me?
I can just imagine it now. I can just imagine you're at the register right now. My GTA 6 pre-order edition. Everyone will just recognize your voice. There'll be like a guy behind you or something like that. Oh my God, Cyberboy!
I'll just be picking it up like, hi, I'm here to pick up my copy of GTA 6. Putting on some voice.
Oh my God.
So imagine that, like the day of GTA 6 release, I get doxxed.
Oh my God.
So yeah, that obviously I've only got like 13, 14k subs, so I'm not I'm not tooting my own horn, but I am conscious that it's over a year and a half away. So we're both going to be bigger than we are now. So I'm just like, if it's a midnight launch, I'm sending one of my friends to go for me. I'm not
just send like your parents or something. Just send them.
Unless a big retailer wants to pay me to be there. My checkbook is listening. So guys, thank you for watching this episode. Probably being a different episode to normal. If you do like this format and you do want us to answer your questions, please make sure you drop your questions down below. If we do ignore your questions, but not being rude, it may be because we've covered it in one of our previous podcasts. So please make sure to go and check out the podcast playlist. And thank you all so much for watching.
Thanks guys, I really enjoyed this one. So yeah, I can't wait for it to go out. I'm just looking for a cheap thrill, put it on my neck. I keep doing this dance with